Good evening, everybody. It is Monday, October 30th, 2017. I'm Cody Hathaway. This is Pulsar. Tonight we got a lot of big news. Manafort was indicted by Mueller. So his associate, Mr. Gates, and then George Papadopoulos. That's his name? Yeah, Papadopoulos. Yeah, of course, giving shade to Clinton and Clinton campaign, DNC, paying for the Russian dossier, the fake news Russian dossier, and it infuriates me that the Clinton campaign and the Democrats constantly get cover thrown at them. They constantly have people working for them to provide them this cover, and you get little petty stuff like this, like Paul Manafort and all that. It's not even going to go anywhere. It's mainly over Manafort's business dealings. Same with Mr. Gates, and George Papadopoulos just lied to the FBI, and it's nothing to do with Trump. But we're going to break it down and enjoy. A lot to go over. Report, you know exactly what's going on. But a lot of articles up here in the top left. It's Mueller's Halloween and Washington Spooked. We got both those articles open, but really a bunch going on in Drudge right now. Majority of this is the Manafort. Yeah, let's start with this. I thought it was pretty interesting. The Mueller team won the battle to force testimony from Mueller, from Manafort and Gates. Now, this is something that Roger Stone and Alex Jones have been saying, that Mueller was eventually going to be able to force testimony and get Manafort into court so they could try to convince him to essentially rat on Trump. But there's going to be nothing to rat about, like nothing. Yeah, it says prosecutors convinced a federal judge to require a lawyer for Trump campaign officials Paul Manafort and Rick Gates to testify before the grand jury investigating Russian involvement in the 2016 election. A court ruling unsealed on Monday showed. I love this. No, it's honestly terrible, folks. It's just honestly terrible. Let's see here. The Daily Mail one. Paul Manafort faces up to 80 years in jail and is under house arrest, along with his former business partner Rick Gates, after pleading not guilty to $75 million money laundering charges. The Daily Mail wouldn't always freeze. It's funny, I'm watching Hannity right now too, and he's like, Papadopoulos, never even heard of him. I mean, I followed the Trump campaign almost the whole way, and I never heard of him until today either. So it's like, there's nothing going on here, especially regarding Trump. These guys just messed up in their own lives. Since the Daily Mail wants to be slow, we'll go over to the National Review. Manafort indictment, not much there, and a boon for Trump. Do not be fooled by the conspiracy against the United States heading. That's one of the things Manafort and Gates are being charged with, is a conspiracy against the United States. Like, that's going to get tossed in court. There's an interesting InfoWars article that shows that. Yeah, there are 12 counts, but those are the two allegations. The so-called conspiracy against the United States mainly involves Manafort's and Gates' alleged failure to file Treasury Department forms, which probably isn't going to go anywhere either. They might be able to get a small laundering charge. Who knows? I mean, there's no way they're going to get the whole thing. No way. yeah, Manafort and Gates were working with Ukraine. Coincidentally, that's what the Podesta work group was and has been working for at the time. Or not working for, but working with. But, I mean, there's a lot here, guys. A lot here. And here's the kicker in all this, especially for this article. Finally, the money laundering conspiracy allegation seems far from a slam dunk. For someone to be guilty of laundering, the money involved has to be the proceeds of criminal activity before the accused starts concealing it by moving it through accounts or changing its form by buying assets, etc., or dodging a reporting requirement under federal law. Which, I mean, Manafort, he's not going to be that dumb to do this stuff. He knows that he probably was a little hot in the political world, but and then within the federal government, but he wasn't going to risk that. He had a great life. But hey, some people like Bernie Madoff, they had a great life, but well, Bernie Madoff was off of scamming people his whole life, so Manafort worked his way up. But it's ridiculous. And here's a good, like I said, here's that InfoWars article. It's a good explanation here. Because it says right here, the FBI illegally obtained FISA wiretapping of Manafort based on the dossier. So all Manafort's lawyers really have to do is go back to that, exactly what that says. Say, hey, I was wiretapped illegally. Like, why was I wired? Why were my servers in Trump Tower tapped? Why was I unmasked during the Obama administration? And it actually just came out recently. I think it was today. I don't know if I have that article up, I don't think. But the Obama administration actually helped pay for that dossier. And we also believe John McCain did that too, but that hasn't been released yet. Yeah. That's probably Manafort's best play in court, is this right here. Argue that. See where that goes. Definitely against his Fourth Amendment rights, especially if he didn't have a warrant, which they say illegally obtained it, so the FISA warrant. So we'll see how it plays out, definitely. Then you got this guy George Papadopoulos, who I'd never heard of, followed the Trump campaign almost the whole way. Never heard of this guy. And supposedly he wore a wire from Mueller. I mean, that's obviously, if he would have got something good, probably not just him and Manafort and Gates would have been indicted, somebody else would, so obviously it was nothing. But that's kind of messed up that he did have a wire. That's fair, but he lied to the FBI, which got him in there. Yeah. He may have been working for feds in the past. I mean, hey, it might be a theory, but people have been floating it all day. See, but like I said, obviously, he didn't get anything good on it, or anything criminal with other people. But just Manafort and Gates and him, because he lied. So, I mean, don't have to really worry about him. And this is, of course, President Trump, his tweets today. Well, we can even start on the 29th. Never seen so much Republican anger and unity as I have concerning the lack of investigation on the Clinton-made fake dossier. Exactly. The uranium to Russia deal, 30,000 plus emails. Exactly. no collusion again, but there's so much guilt, which is correct. Like, all his tweets are always right. Um, and like he says there, Republicans are trying to push healthcare reform and tax. And then, today, report out the Obama campaign paid $972,000 to Fusion GPS. The firm also got $12,400,000 from the DNC. I mean, that's going up because, they were saying it was only like $6 million, $8 million. Oh, yeah, it's here. And I mean, it's kind of like how the Clinton Foundation got about $145 million given to them, coincidentally around the same time Hillary Clinton approved the Uranium One deal, which sold 20% of uranium to the Russians. And who knows what they did with it. There's your real Russian collusion. Nope. I want to distract us with this little stuff. And Mueller has a huge, huge conflict of interest because he was the director of the FBI around the time, I believe, of the Uranium One deal and knew all about this stuff. So, yep. Here's some Breitbart. This is a good article here. 7 Uranium One facts that every American should know. See, right there, one company just as 9 foreign investors in the deal funneled $145 million to the Clinton Foundation. Exactly. Peter Schweitzer broke the Uranium One scandal. Initially, in his book, Clinton Cash. He also made a documentary, Clinton Cash, pretty good. The New York Times confirmed it in 2015. Of course, that got buried. The FBI uncovered evidence that Russian money was funneled to the Clinton Foundation. That was reported last week by The Hill. There's your real money laundering. Like, there's your, actual terrible money, very criminal money laundering right there. Congress is now investigating, which is good. They got the gag order lifted on the FBI informant that was in this. And like I said, Mueller was FBI director at the time. Bill Clinton was paid $500,000 for a speech in Moscow around the same time. Said Clinton Foundation took big bucks from uranium investors, and then the Senate Republicans already got that. It's a little older. But then as we learned today that the Obama administration almost paid $1 million to Fusion GPS. Fusion GPS had huge ties to the Democrats, as we see, and they were being used to help get dirt, help try to influence the election and collude with Russia. Like I said, that's your real Russian collusion, folks. That's it. Said earlier, Tony Podesta, brother of John Podesta, steps down from his firm. He's done because he knows it's coming. He knows him and John are done for. See, Company A and Company B. Yeah, this is the Washington Post too. Podestas are next. And then it's going to spiral down through the Obama administration, through the DNC. Debbie Wasserman Schultz, she's about to be in trouble for some other stuff, but this will probably put the icing on the cake. Her and her, the R1 scandal. The man who smashed a bunch of hard drives of the DNCs and then got caught for it, tried to flee the country to Pakistan, wired $300,000 to Pakistan, got caught at Dulles and arrested, and he's in jail. W. Wasserman Schultz threatened a Capitol Police officer with consequences if she didn't get back a laptop that was found and it was left there, believed to be left there by Arwan before he left. Hopefully to maybe shed light on what was going on. But I think Wasserman Schultz, she was the chairman of the DNC. Exactly what's going on here. So it's all the Democrats. They're throwing smoke and mirrors at Trump and everything else because they know they're done for. They're just trying to delay it, and as long as they can, trying to run away from it. You can only run for so long. It's like Johnny Cash says, you can run on for a long time, but sooner or later, God's gonna cut you down. So at the end of the day, really though, where is the investigations for the Democrat scandals, the Clinton scandals, all that? Like, when's that going to start coming out and getting the attention that all this stuff this petty stuff gets right here? Like, come on. Look, I guess they placed Manafort and Gates on house arrest, and probably Papadopoulos. You know, it's ridiculous. Like, there's real crimes going on in the Democratic Party. The Obama administration seems full of scandal and crimes. Same with both Hillary and Bill Clinton. I mean, God, Bill Clinton's a rapist, for crying out loud. It's serious. We got to catch a break here soon. But, you know, again, like Johnny Cash, what's done in the dark will be brought to the light. And it's coming soon. It's coming soon. Hopefully sooner rather than later. But they're coming. Oh yes, Judge updated with the White House Halloween. It's funny as how they're playing the Halloween theme song when I hit the Periscope. But yeah, oh yeah, Kevin Spacey, yeah, has a secret. Wow, that's from a long time ago. I guess he had a couple of secrets. One was a pretty open secret that he was gay, and I'm guessing maybe it wasn't so open of a secret, but you know, looking at all the Weinstein stuff and how Hollywood is, it probably was an open secret too. But Kevin Spacey's a pedophile. So Corey Feldman, yeah. You know, he wants to. Corey Feldman, he was a child star in Friday the 13th, Part 4, the final chapter, and he was starred in a couple other movies. But, yeah, he's saying he's going to release every name of Hollywood pedophiles, and no one's going to stop him, which I hope he does. One already got himself in trouble today, Kevin Spacey, and, yeah, hopefully Feldman tells more, you know, because Hollywood is a terrible place, and they're all covering for each other. It's terrible. But, no more red on here. No more red on Drudge. Alright, so it was a big news day today. We kind of quickly went through the top headline of the day, which was all the Manafort indictments, and then got into a little brief about the pedophile stuff in Hollywood, but mainly stuck with the Manafort and Gates indictments and the Papadopoulos. I mean, it's terrible that that's getting so much coverage when there is so much more criminal activity going on the Democratic side, and with Hillary Clinton and the Obama administration. I mean, the list goes on and on. That's the real collusion. That's the real crimes that went on in the election. Unmasking, illegal wiretapping, you name it. The Democrats threw everything in the kitchen table at Trump to try and stop him to get elected, but he got elected because he spoke to the people, and the people wanted him to be the president, and that's who is the president. And Democrats still can't deal with it. They're not going to be able to deal with it for a long time, and they're probably going to ruin themselves and their party forever for this, and that's fine with me. Keep on doing it. They're never going to find the conclusion that never happened, and they're just throwing smoke and mirrors to try and save themselves, because they really did the scandaling, they did the scheming, they did the crimes. But hey, maybe Mueller, he's going to play along and start throwing indictments the other way. If he does, that's going to be very interesting. So see where this picks up tomorrow and down the line, and let's hope something real comes out. No more fake news. Something real, a real crime and all that. So until then, follow View Pulsar on Twitter, CodyST92 on Twitter, and viewpulsar.com. Have a good night.